All right, folks, welcome to another White House press briefing. This one is with Kayleigh McEnany, the press secretary. Later on today, President Trump is also going to have a White House press briefing. That one's going to be on coronavirus. That is happening later on today. But right now, Kayleigh McEnany is set to answer some of the fake news' questions and also give some updates on other things that are going on at the White House. We'd like to welcome you here at Golden State Times. Thank you so much for joining us and choosing us as your stream of choice. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button, and also don't forget to share the live stream on social media. We need your help now more than ever before. So if you'd like to help us out, share the stream on Facebook and Twitter and Gab and Reddit, Parler, and all of those other social media sites. It'll be greatly appreciated because we don't come up on search on any of those sites, and we also don't come up on Google search. So the only way that we come up is by you guys sharing the live stream. So if I go to Twitter and I type Kayleigh McEnany live, your tweet will come up. And that's how Patriots find the live stream most of the time. Now, let me know in the chat, did you guys get notified by YouTube? We want to see how many notifications got sent out today. And we also hope that you guys get notified for President Trump's press briefing that is coming later on today. But let me know if you guys got notified by YouTube in the chat. We're also sending the text message notifications right now, so you might receive a text message notification if you are already here. But if you can forward it to anyone that will listen, that'll be greatly appreciated. All right, so a few Patriots are saying that yes, they did get notified by YouTube. So that's good. That's good that they're sending notifications up to this point. I hope they continue doing it. Let me know if you also got notified by text message. And some Patriots are saying that they just happened to pass by and they saw the live stream. So welcome. If you are new to the channel, what we do here at Golden State Times is very simple. We show you raw footage of events at the White House, in Congress, or in the State Department. We bring them to you live. There is no commentary, there's no nothing. From beginning till it's done. Then we shut down and move on. That is what we do here at Golden State Times. And also, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me and I'll do my best to answer them or to point you in a direction where it could be answered. But we do things very differently here at Golden State Times. The number one thing, the biggest thing compared to everybody else, no opinion. There's no opinion on this channel and very little commentary. The only commentary that I do actually do on air is just give shout outs to everyone that shares the stream. Patriots that support us through Super Chat and through membership. Because our members, the Patriots with the Trump hats next to the name in the chat, those Patriots help us live stream here on YouTube. These live streams are made possible by Patriots that help us through Super Chat and through membership. As you guys can see, this live stream is 100% ad-free. There's no advertisements anywhere on this live stream. So thank you so much to all of our members and all of the Patriots that help us through Super Chat for helping us live stream this event to Patriots all over the country and all over the world. All right, so I'm going to be checking real quick and we'll be switching over to the White House in just a few moments. Once again, don't forget to click the thumbs up button, share the live stream, and say hello in the chat. All right, folks. So before I switch over to the White House, I want to give some shout outs of Patriots who are sharing the live stream on social media. Why? Because you are the reason that we're able to do this. By you guys sharing the live stream, tuning in here at Golden State Times, you guys are the reason we're here. So we want to give shout outs as a thank you for your support, for helping us out. It means a lot to us, and it helps us out immensely when you guys share it. It's as simple as just clicking the share button, copying and pasting the link to this live stream onto your Facebook, your Twitter, your Gabs. If you guys are part of groups on Facebook, I know there's a lot of community groups on Facebook. I'm actually part of a community group on Facebook. So if you guys are part of that, also share it on there. You know, if you can. Don't get yourselves banned, but if you can, share it on there too. Any groups on Facebook, that it helps us out so much. So thank you so much for your help. Now, let's see who is sharing the stream. What awesome Patriots are sharing the stream. We want to give a big thank you to Crystal Mullins for your help and your support sharing the stream. Empress Dragon, thanks so much for letting other Patriots know that we are live and what we do. So thank you so much. Greg Williamson and Bo H, thanks so much for your support sharing the stream. Robert Gambino, thanks so much for your continued support sharing the stream. Kath by Choice, thanks so much for sharing the stream. And let's see here. All right, so let me check Twitter. All right, here we go. So we want to give a big thank you to Brenda for sharing the stream. And we also want to give a big thank you to Phil Torres for sharing the stream. We also have John Toland sharing the stream. Idaho Garden Girl, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Author L.W. Clay, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Also Roger Harrison, being awesome, sharing the stream. Ms. Lady, thanks so much for sharing the stream. We also have Carmen sharing the stream. Thanks so much, Carmen. We also have the English Patriot Poet. Thanks so much for your help and your support. Here at Golden State Times, not only Patriots from all over the country tune in to, watch these events, but also Patriots from all over the world also tune in to check out these press briefings. So welcome, and I hope that you guys enjoy. If you are from any part of the world, if you're tuning in from anywhere else other than the United States, let us know in the chat. What part of the world are you tuning in from? We want to give a big thank you to Carrie Blackburn. Thanks so much for sharing the stream. Arlos Collins, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Robert O'Neill and Stands with a Beer, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Dio Toner, Lisa Jax, Own Your Suck, and Dennis Stoles, thanks so much for sharing the stream. BJ Druinsky, Freedom Warrior 91, Ellie Abby, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Dog Mom 3, Aunt Cynthia, Vinu Designs, Rebel Videos, and Jacqueline Apandi, thanks so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also want to give a big thank you to John Porras, William Harrison, and Dorcine Puckett. Thanks so much for sharing the stream on social media. All right, folks, so we're about to switch over with hot mic and everything. But one problem that we do have is that we don't want to get in the way, doing shout outs and stuff like that of us listening to the hot mic. So let me give all the shout outs right now before we switch over to the White House. That way I don't interrupt the hot mic. We catch all kinds of crazy, interesting, and very obnoxious things when on the hot mics, especially at the press briefing room. So stay tuned for that. But we're going to be giving shout outs right now to everyone that is sharing the stream on Twitter before we switch over to the White House. That way I don't interrupt anything. All right, so John, thanks so much, John, for sharing the stream. New World Sun, Patriot United, Amber McClure. We got Edna Miller sharing the stream. Noreen Sanderson, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Christy C, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Deplorable Tiger Fan, thanks so much for your continued support, sharing the stream. And we also have David Ball, thanks so much, David. And we have here Jude, thanks so much, Jude. And we also have here, let's see, I think that's it on this side. All right, so let me refresh one more time. Trying to get all the Patriots that are sharing the stream, because you guys help us out immensely when you do that. And we're very, very grateful here at Golden State Times. Justice, thanks so much, Justice, for your help and your support. Also, James, thanks so much, James, for sharing the stream. Give me 1 second, folks. Let me look at the chat to make sure that everything is good. Once again, thanks so much for your help and your support. As you guys can see, this live stream is 100% ad-free. There's no advertisements anywhere on this live stream. The reason we are able to even do it is because of the Patriots that are helping us out through Super Chat up to this point, and also to all of our members, all the Patriots with the Trump hats next to their name in the chat. Thank you so much, Patriots. Because of you, we are able to live stream this event to Patriots all over the country and all over the world. So in other words, this live stream is viewer funded. Thank you so much for your help and your support. The reason we have to be viewer funded, the reason that there is no advertisements on this live stream, is because YouTube was censoring us. If we turn advertisements, ads on this live stream, YouTube will censor it. It won't show up on recommended. It won't show up on up next. It won't show up on anything. It's like if it never even existed. So in order for us to bypass that, to go around that censorship, we have to take off advertisements from our live streams and then start streaming. So thank you so much once again to the Patriots that have been helping us out through Super Chat and through membership. If you would like to help out Golden State Times, the best way to do it is by sharing the live stream. Share the live stream, click the thumbs up button, tell Patriots about us, get Patriots in here, full stop. All right, folks, so let me give some shout outs here to everyone that is sharing the stream. We want to give a big thank you to Graham for sharing the stream. In God We Trust, Lotus Flower, Mary Jane, Jerome, and also David Montgomery. Thanks so much for sharing the stream on social media. We also want to give a big thank you to Maggie M. And let's see if there's any more Patriots sharing the stream. We also want to give a big thank you to Patriot Z, Wild River Preppers, Russell, and also, let's see here, Elizabeth Wesley. Thanks so much, Elizabeth Wesley. Callie Marie, Santo, thank you so much for sharing the stream. We also have Cat Baloo sharing the stream. We have Christian Patriot sharing the stream, and we have History B1 sharing somebody else's stream. I apologize, that wasn't for us. Steve Sager, thanks so much for sharing the stream. Angie for Trump, thanks so much for sharing the stream. All right, folks, I hope I got everybody. Michael Murphy, thanks so much for sharing the stream. I hope I got everybody. We'll be switching over to the White House right now. I'm just working on the hot mic real quick. I want to make sure that the hot mic is on when we switch over, so just bear with me a few more moments and we'll be switching over to the White House. Thanks so much for sharing the stream, everyone. You guys are amazing. You guys help us out so much. Also, to all the moderators, thank you so much for your help and your support in the chat. If you haven't yet, please share the live stream on social media. That's all we ask for. It's a huge help to Golden State Times. So if you can share the stream, if you just joined us, thank you so much for your consideration. And to everyone who already shared, you guys are awesome. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button. That lets YouTube know that you want to watch this live stream. So don't forget, click the thumbs up button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and click that bell. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times, because we keep you updated up to the second there on Twitter. And we also let you guys know where to find President Trump's tweets. So if you don't have a Twitter yet, I suggest you get one. Really, honestly, I really do. I hate Twitter. I hate their politics and everything else about it, who runs it and everything. But it truly is the best social media out there, especially for information. If you want to stay up to date on politics and breaking news and stuff like that, Twitter, unfortunately, there is no other website out there or app out there like Twitter. And I wish there was, but there isn't. So who knows? Maybe in the near future, there will be something a lot better than Twitter. But for now, when it comes to information, politics, news, and stuff like that, Twitter is the place to be. So that's the reason why we keep you guys up to the second informed on Twitter. So if you do have one, follow us at Gold State Times. There's some patriots that are saying that Parler is like Twitter. Not really. It's more like Facebook. Parler is more like Facebook than anything else, or what Facebook used to be. So Parler is a good website. It runs unlike Gab. Like, it actually works on a daily basis and is pretty fast and efficient, and the layout is a lot better than Gab. But Parler is still, the way the platform feels and looks and works is more like Facebook than Twitter. Oh, and by the way, we are on Parler, so make sure you follow us at Golden State Times. Golden State Times on Parler. We are on there. We're not that active on Parler, but we are on that site. So make sure you follow us at Golden State Times. All right, folks, so let me check if the hot mic is working. Yep, it's working. All right, folks, so the hot mic is now on. Let me turn this off for a second. All right, so the hot mic is now on, folks. The hot mic is on. Let's see what they have to say.
I don't want to stop and talk to security without really considering everything.
All right, folks, so if you guys are wondering what that guy is doing, he is fixing all the cameras from the Associated Press, Reuters, and the New York Times. I don't know if the Washington Post has one, but the New York Times definitely has one. The Associated Press and Reuters, I think, is the third one that has those cameras that the guy is moving around.
Oh, you're good, Mary? Yeah. 30 seconds. 2 minutes? 10 seconds.
Why are they moving? Why is it moving?
Everybody's moving, Mary.
I don't like it.
Hey, Joe, do me a favor, turn on the transmitter up there. Yeah. Thanks.
Is they making an announcement? Why is it moving?
No.
It's just the crowd reality?
Who is it, Walker, right?
Just sit there for a while.
Check 1, 2, check. Mic check 1, 2.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, here we go.
Here we go, Gil.
That's right, Joe.
Time for party, baby.
All right, folks. So if you guys are enjoying the hot mic, then make sure you guys please share this live stream on social media if you just joined us. Also, don't forget to click the thumbs up button. The press secretary is set to come out very soon. Please share the stream. Thank you so much.
Anyone need a use station? Anyone can use it, Alex. It's cool. It's a common thing.
Oh, that's your spot. Thank you. Teachers, now the government, can you witness truth?
All right, I have to be careful what these idiots are playing on their cell phones because whatever they're playing might be copyright, and we do not want to get in trouble over something so stupid like that. So we have to be careful, folks. You might hear us mute the microphone for a second, and that's because these idiots are playing copyrighted either songs or videos or reports or anything like that on their cell phones, and is getting picked up by the hot mic. So we have to be very careful. Alright folks, so we turned down the hot mic just a tiny bit because the background noise, the white noise behind it, or the background noise, we're not even allowed to say white noise here on YouTube anymore. The background noise is a little bit too loud. So I'm just putting it down just a tiny bit so we can hear the voices a lot better.
Excellent, great. Thank you. Good. Good. Good.
Thank you.
How were the flights?
The flights?
Yes, the flights.
Yeah, I did. Just nice
Now they're a little let's do that. You have to learn how to go in the airport.
Yes. The whole day, it's like an
I don't care. Yeah. As long as you're not fucking Alex.
Double your pleasure.
All right, folks, we just want to give a quick reminder, a friendly reminder, that President Trump is going to have a coronavirus press conference later on today at the press briefing room. So he is going to be speaking, he's going to be answering questions, all that good stuff. So President Trump is having a press conference on coronavirus. It's happening at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that later on today. So 2 press conferences on the same day, one from Kayleigh McEnany, one from President Trump. Stay tuned. We will cover both of them live. All right, so it looks like there's no slides or videos at today's press briefing. If I was the press secretary, what I would be playing on those TVs in the background, what I would be playing will be retractions from the fake news, recent retractions that the fake news has published or has put out. That's what I will be playing in the background as a slideshow when I'm when I'm handing the fake news their butts, That's what I would be playing in the background. All retractions that the fake news have been putting out, of all the fake news that they have been reporting on, recently. That's what I would be playing in the background. Let us know, what would you guys be playing in the background if you were the press secretary, if you were Kayleigh McEnany? What would you be playing on the TVs behind you at these press briefings? Let us know in the chat.
Yes, sir. Can I help you?
Could you just stand?
Yep.
No, over there. I'm going to see how I'm going to ruin this.
Coming out. I'm a little edged to the right.
A little edge to the right. So much.
Door opens. I'm headed this way.
That's great.
Good?
Hey, Chip.
My daughter's constantly freaking
Thank you. Wait, we should take a picture. Look right there. Over your shoulder. Over the shoulder. Sure. Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's the only good picture I'm going to make all day.
are you?
You got a mic right up there. TV pool.
Oh, I sit here. Always like this way.
That microphone is on.
You know,
Under the AC.
So they decided in this last time to do.
Oh, yeah. You're ready to bring up a house? Actually, you can sit. You
yeah,
can
just
sit.
put this.
Isn't that great? Just fix.
That I.
Yeah, you can.
One of our friends, she said, I think that's in the post of that. More coffee.
That should be good, and then we'll wait. Just take a seat. You want me to clip on you?
Yeah, you can do that. You can attach it in whatever. Or just you can-
As I said, why don't you sit?
Okay.
Because we can hide it.
Okay, great.
You don't even need it attached to you.
Multiple walls, though.
And is that ours? And that's mine.
Perfect.
Great, wonderful.
Thanks, Kristen.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
Chris, do me a favor, just talk really quick.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Very good.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, I like that. I can give you a Playboy one, I'm sure that'll be.
Maybe better.
Hey, well,
Hey, John.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Not bad.
hey, hey.
Happy well, thank you. It's hot.
It is.
Very hot.
Study. He's got a harness and he's got a cycle. He's a doctor.
All right, folks. So if you guys like the hot mic, make sure you guys click the thumbs up button. That lets us know that you guys like the hot mic. So make sure you click that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, we encourage you to subscribe and click that notification bell. Now, let us tell you a little bit about ourselves. Yes, we are from California. Okay? We are from California, in case you were wondering. 2, we cover the president fairly and completely, 24/7, 365. We do not just focus on rallies. We do not just focus on, other things, just like the one-trick pony only focuses on Trump rallies. We do not do that. We cover Trump rallies, but we cover the president fairly and completely. No matter where he is in the country or in the world, we are there to cover him. All press conferences, all press briefings, all gaggles, all chopper talks. Whenever the president addresses the media, we are there to cover it and bring it to you live or upload it onto the channel. So that is what we do here at Golden State Times. We believe in America first. America first. That's what we believe in here at Golden State Times. So we're keeping everyone accountable also here at Golden State Times. We are keeping the government accountable. We are keeping elected officials accountable. We're keeping the fake news accountable. Everyone should be held accountable, and we are here to make sure that that happens. All right, folks, 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. Make sure that you guys please share the stream. Click the thumbs up button. Go get your coffees, your popcorn, your teas, your drinks, and here we go. All right, folks, so we have some breaking news here. The Department of Justice will announce charges on cybercrime concerning national security in just a few moments. We're going to be uploading that press briefing onto the channel later on today. Everything is happening at the exact same time. So we're trying our best, but we're going to cover everything. More info on Twitter at Gold State Times. Here we go. Here comes Kayleigh.
Good morning, everyone. By any objective standard, the violence, chaos, and anarchy in Portland is unacceptable. Yet Democrats continue to put politics above peace while this president seeks to restore law and order. Governor Kate Brown, a Democrat governor of Oregon, said that the president should, quote, stop playing politics, called law enforcement officers secret police, and likened it to, quote, a dictatorship. The governor also called on the president to get his officers off the streets. Democrat Mayor of Portland, Todd Wheeler, said the president is trying to look strong for his base, while you had Democrats on the Hill, Nancy Pelosi, calling these officers stormtroopers, and Jim Clyburn calling them the Gestapo. This rhetoric is unhelpful and gives the violence we have seen a pass. But President Trump will not give the violence a pass. He will restore order where the Democrat governor and the Democrat mayor are unwilling to admit that they have lost control of their city. The well-organized mob in Portland has become increasingly aggressive, especially against law enforcement officers. Individuals have thrown bricks, chunks of concrete, glass bottles, feces, balloons filled with paint, pig's feet, slingshots to hurl ball bearings, and batteries at federal agents and the courthouse. Multiple attempts to barricade officers in the Hatfield courthouse have occurred, attempts to start the structure on fire as well. Use of eyesight-damaging laser devices have been used, and strobe lights against federal agents as well. But according to Speaker Pelosi, when asked about the violent removal of statues, people will do what they do. The Trump administration urges state and local officials to work cooperatively to restore law and order. Operation Legend is a great example of this. At the governor's request, we went into Kansas City and surged the area with federal assets, FBI, DEA, ATF, and U.S. Marshals. This was named after Legend Taliaferro, a 4-year-old young boy who lost his life and was shot in his bed tragically. This has been a successful operation that has been waged in his name, including the arrest of wanted fugitives. Similarly, President Trump is taking action in Portland, even though you have a Democrat mayor and Democrat governor unwilling to work with us in this situation. We are surging resources, along with Secretary Wolf at DHS, and augmenting the Federal Protective Service to safeguard federal property. The bottom line is that this president stands with law and order, which leads to peace, and we will not allow Portland to become the new CHOP like what we saw in Seattle. And with that, I'll take questions. John.
Kayleigh, 2 questions on Portland. One, the case of Navy veteran Christopher David, who went down because he said he wanted to talk to the law enforcement officers and ask them about the oath of office that they took. He was, as people saw on videotape, he was beaten with a baton. He had pepper spray sprayed in his face. He now has 2 broken bones in his hand. Is the president aware of what happened to this Navy veteran graduate of the Naval Academy? And does he condone that kind of action by these law enforcement officers?
Yeah, I'm aware of the details of that situation. Haven't heard the audio of the video, though I've seen it, and I'd refer you to DHS about the extenuating details. We always encourage the appropriate use of force, and we also encourage those in the area to remain peaceful towards our law enforcement officers.
And my second question is, where in the Constitution does the president derive the authority to send federal law enforcement officers to the streets of American cities against the will of the elected officials in those cities?
Yes, well, what you're referring to is Portland, and 40 U.S. Code 1315 gives DHS the ability to deputize officers in any department or agency, like ICE, Custom and Border Patrol, and Secret Service, quote, as officers and agents. They can be deputized for the duty of, in connection with the protection of property owned or occupied by the federal government and persons on that property. And when a federal courthouse is being lit on fire, commercial fireworks being shot at it, being shot at the officers, I think that falls pretty well within the limits of 40 U.S. Code 1315.
So that's a matter of protecting federal property, like federal courthouses in the case of Portland. Does he see limitations to that power? And how far does that power extend into the streets of the city of Portland? What are there limitations on that?
So under
that authority to protect a federal property.
Under the law, we believe that agents can conduct investigations of crimes committed against federal property or federal officers. And in the case where you have someone shooting off a commercial-grade firework and then running across the street, we don't believe that extends past our jurisdiction. Yes.
Kayleigh, thank you. Yesterday, the president tweeted out an image of himself wearing a mask. He said that wearing a mask is an act of patriotism. No one is more patriotic than him. Then just hours later, he was spotted at the Trump Hotel not wearing a mask. Why did it take him so long, first of all, to be seen wearing a mask in public? And why the mixed messaging on this critical health issue that his own top health officials have said is critical to fighting this pandemic?
The president's always been consistent on this, that masks, according to the CDC, are recommended but not required. He has said that he would wear one in the case he couldn't appropriately socially distance. And he wore one and put up the picture on Twitter, as you saw.
Do you think that it's important to lead by example on this issue?
Well, the president has led. He's been consistent, even going back to March 31st, when he said, then my feeling is if people want to do it, there's certainly no harm to it.
But he hasn't done it, Kayleigh. He hasn't worn a mask. And so it's sending, is it not mixed signals?
The president wore a mask in May. The president wore a mask at Walter Reed out of an abundance of caution. But as I've made clear from this podium, the president is the most tested man in America. He's tested more than anyone, multiple times a day. And we believe that he's acting appropriately.
Let me ask you about the federal stimulus, if I might. Negotiations are ongoing. Why is the White House blocking Republicans' request for more funding for testing and contact tracing? Senator Roy Blunt saying it just doesn't make sense. I think that's just wrong.
So no one is blocking any money from testing. One of the things I would add is that this is an ongoing negotiation. We're just in the early days of that. Currently in federal coffers, we have $10 billion, that's with a B, unspent, that is allocated for testing. And we want to ensure that in phase 4, there is money that is targeted for testing in the way that makes most sense.
Republicans say they need that money. Is the president willing to come to the table?
We're willing to put in money for targeted testing that makes sense, not just dumping money into a pot that already contains $10 billion.
Kayleigh, there's very little support in Congress for a payroll tax cut, but the president keeps pushing for it. Why is that so important to him? How does a payroll tax cut help the 25 million Americans out of work when they're not getting a paycheck?
Well, there are a number of things we're looking at for phase 4. And one of those things is unemployment benefits, where, as Secretary Mnuchin said, we want this to be completed before July 31st, the date that runs out. We don't want something to be an incentive where someone gets overpaid and has a disincentive from going back to work, where they get paid more on unemployment benefits than at work. So we want to be cautious about that while making sure that those unemployed are taken care of. But the payroll tax in particular goes to some of our hardest working Americans. The people that it benefits, if you look at the tax structure, are middle income and low income workers. And not only that, there's an incentive on the employer side with a payroll tax holiday that encourages them to hire more too, because it reduces their burden. So it's a very smart policy.
But those are people who still have jobs, so wouldn't it be more important to focus on the people who don't if you're worried about the overall cost of this stimulus?
We can focus on a number of things at once, and part of that's a payroll tax for middle and low income Americans who are out there working each and every day and making their way through as best they can. It also means unemployment benefits. It also means direct payments to Americans. So we're looking at all of that, and we would like to see all of that.
The second question on the briefing today at 5 o'clock, should we expect to see members of the coronavirus task force? Will Dr. Fauci, will Dr. Birx be there?
You'll have to tune in to see. Yes.
Thank you. On Portland, on sending agents to Portland, as well as plans for Chicago, why are these the right people to send? My understanding, these agents often work on human smuggling, drug trafficking, things like that. Do they have the right skill set, whether it's gun violence in Chicago or quelling unrest in Portland?
Well, first, let me add, they haven't been sent to Chicago. These DHS officials are currently in Portland protecting a courthouse. We do believe they're the right individuals for that, as does 40 U.S.C. 1315, the United States Code. It's egregious what's happening. The frequency jammers, the pellet and air rifles in Portland, it's being depicted as this peaceful scene. I can assure you it's anything but that, where you've had barricades trying to keep officers in the Hatfield, courthouse, injury to a Border Patrol team member's leg, injuries to the head, shoulder, and back of a deputy U.S. Marshal. A U.S. Marshal impaled his right hand on a board filled with nails set out by the protesters. This is not a peaceful scene. I'm very thankful to our U.S. Marshals and ATF and others who are acting in accordance with a statute and protecting a federal building, and doing so at great cost to themselves. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. I have 2 questions for you on the stimulus. First, since you guys are committed to the payroll tax cut, that seems to be driving up the price tag of the whole package. So is the White House view the $1 trillion figure that's been cited by GOP leaders as a hard cap? Are you willing to sign something that would spend more than that?
These are all preliminary discussions, so I'll leave it to the negotiators to decide. The $1 trillion number was cited by Secretary Mnuchin yesterday. But look, this is the beginning stages. We're looking at a number of things, but the president was very clear that he would like to see a payroll tax in there, along with liability protections, tax credits for businesses to bring people back to work and to have safe work environments, and of course, $70 billion for schools to reopen safely, at least $70 billion.
And then on the testing piece, what are the long wait times that we're seeing for tests around the country suggest that we do need a massive influx of testing beyond what's unspent, and that the federal government should take more control of the country's testing program?
So we do want to see more testing funding, but we want it to be targeted in a way that it gets to the right people who need testing at the right time, not just dumping money into a bucket. So we want more money. We want it to be targeted. But I'm glad you brought up the timing of the testing. I talked to Dr. Birx, and she's very encouraged by the pool testing that's being worked on. You can run 4 to 5 5 times as many tests in the same period of time by decreasing turnaround times at a minimum of 2/3. So if you took 3 days to get a test result, it goes down to less than 1. If it took 6 days, it goes down to less than 2. And it's more labor intensive. So they would need to hire additional personnel, but CMS is funding the test at about 4 times the actual test cost to ensure technicians and PPE requirements can be met. So we are seeing encouraging signs on that front. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh. Just going back to the Portland situation, what is sort of the policy justification for federal officers not identifying their agency and their arrest authority when they take a protester into custody?
So I've been told by DHS that there is insignia indicating that they're law enforcement. They, in the case you're referencing, did identify themselves to the individual being obtained, but that they don't identify themselves to crowds because it would put them at great risk. And I think you can see that, as I noted, when they're sticking their hands into boards left out by some of the rioters. Yes.
Hey, Kayleigh. On June 16th, a little more than a month ago, the White House, via the Vice President, published an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal. The op-ed said that the media has tried to scare the American people about the coronavirus. It talked about low positivity rates and declining case numbers in half of the states. There have been 25,000 additional deaths since that was published. Does the White House still stand by that op-ed? And then just more generally, what happened here at the White House and the administration in the last month when the message was that this was a problem that was on the mend and being addressed, until now with the exploding cases we've seen and 141,000 deaths?
Well, the White House has always been very clear-eyed that as we reopen, we would see embers and in some cases fires. We've been very aggressive in addressing that, sent out 19 teams to go to emerging hotspots. Dr. Birx has been to 9 states. She does a lot of extraordinary work on that front. So we've been clear-eyed that as we reopen, we would see embers and sometimes fires, but we're encouraged that when you look at case fatality, for instance, we're below the European Union, we're below the average of the world, and I think that that speaks to our incredible work with therapeutics and our incredible work with testing, 46 million tests. The number 2 in testing in the world is India at 13.79 million.
Do you still see the main problem, as the op-ed pointed out, as the media trying to scare the American people over coronavirus?
I think in many cases the media has tried to scare the American people. I think there's been a deficit in reporting about the cost of staying shut down, for instance. When you have the fact that the American Cancer Society saying that during the pandemic we saw an 80% drop in cancer cases being identified, there are real costs to a draconian extended shutdown, and you never heard the other side of the health equation. You never heard that mammograms were down by 87% and colonoscopies down by 90% and drug overdoses going up month after month through the lockdown. So it was the right decision to make. The president saved 3 to 4 million lives, but it's important to note the other side of the health equation about what extended lockdowns do to the American people. Yes?
Yeah, the president says he wants to send these forces to other cities like Chicago. Cities where the federal property isn't necessarily under attack. What are they going to do when they get to Chicago and these other cities with higher crime rates, higher shooting rates, higher murder rates? If the president's worried about that, what are they going to do? What are they going to arrest people with?
I think you're getting ahead of the president here. He's made no announcements as to who's going where. He's very discouraged by the violence that he's seen in Chicago. It's why he sent a very strong letter to Mayor Lightfoot offering help because she's clearly unable to control her streets, and the governor as well, unable to control that area. When you see the fact that there were 49 officers who were injured in this egregious video of them being lambasted with rioters with umbrellas shielding from view that they were throwing projectiles and 49 officers injured. Not only that, the poor citizenry of Chicago, where 12 were murdered this weekend, 70 shot alone. It's incredible what we're seeing in Chicago. He's offered his help, and we encourage the mayor to take it and to be forthright about the situation in her state, much like the governor of Missouri was in working with us on Operation Legend to protect the people of Missouri.
But the leaders of these cities don't necessarily want unmarked police officers patrolling their streets the way we've seen in Portland, with the premise that they're protecting federal property there. The leaders in these cities don't want this sort of paramilitary police force.
They're offered the assistance of DOJ, as was done, where you've had FBI surge in the case of Operation Legend. So when you have each weekend more than a dozen people getting shot in your city, perhaps it's time, more than a dozen killed, I should say, and children, perhaps it's time to say, I need the help of the federal government because what I'm doing is simply not working when more people are dying on the streets of Chicago than Afghanistan and Iraq. It's a tragedy.
What if they don't say that?
Yes, Stephen.
Thank you. Well, I have a question about New York on a similar topic. Yesterday, President Trump mentioned the spike in violent crime in New York and said, quote, if the governor is not going to do something about it, we'll do something about it. And I'm curious if you could explain why he's saying that the governor should do something about it rather than the mayor, and if you could also elaborate on what President Trump would be willing to do.
Well, he thinks the mayor and the governor should work together to take control of the streets of New York City, where in some places we've seen 600% surge in violence over last year. So he thinks they should work together. It's ultimately the power of the mayor to enforce and the governor to enforce the police power of their states. That power rests with them, but they can partner with the federal government in the event they're unable to control the violence in their cities. And that's certainly what we've seen from Mayor de Blasio, who seems to have not a hard time criticizing police officers, but an awfully hard time controlling the streets of New York City. Yes.
Hi, Kayleigh. Thanks so much. I have two questions on the print cooler for today, one for myself and one for a colleague who cannot be here because of social distancing. Governor Gavin Newsom was one of the few Democratic governors to bring in the National Guard and arm them after the riots and looting in early June, as compared to Seattle, where they didn't arm the National Guard. The Guard was posted at Los Angeles City Hall as a show of force, and within days the violence had quelled. Why not just invoke the Insurrection Act and have a big show of force rather than these more secretive operations?
So I'll leave that to the president. We don't have secretive operations going on. It's very clear what's going on in Portland. It's very clear what's happening in Kansas City. But with regard to the Insurrection Act, look, we believe that it should be governors and mayors doing what they have the constitutional power to do. The police power rests with them. So it's up to this president whether he ever decides to invoke that. But governors and mayors really need to step it up, particularly in Democrat cities where Democrat streets are out of control.
And then the one for my colleague, John Gizzi at Newsmax is asking, what are the president's thoughts on John Kasich supporting Joe Biden in his plans to appear at the convention?
What was
for
that?
him?
I didn't hear the last
John Kasich is supporting Joe Biden, and he plans to attend the convention and support the Democratic convention.
So that would be a question for the campaign, but this president's quite proud of his record in the Republican Party and quite proud to have the support of 96% of the party, more than any predecessor in the history of the Republican Party. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. You said earlier that the president was tested multiple times a day. We knew he was tested daily, but can you elaborate on that? How many times a day is he tested?
He's tested often. I'm not going to read out exactly how many times he's tested a day, but sometimes it is more than one time a day. Yes.
Yesterday, the president said that when he was previously doing briefings, we had a lot of people watching, record numbers watching in the history of cable television. And I was wondering if ratings are factoring into his decision to restart the briefing, and if he is the best person to get accurate information about the virus out to the public, given previous statements at briefings like his speculation that disinfectants inside the human body could work as a treatment, which medical experts say is not the case, and claims that the virus will just disappear.
Well, the president is the right person to give information to the American people. He was elected by the American people. He's been a leader on this. The fact that we've outproduced on ventilators, so much so that we have an extraordinary number in our stockpile, and we're giving ventilators out to the rest of the world, that we lead the world in testing, 46 million tests, more than that at this point. The fact that he's broken down bureaucracy to get a vaccine into phase 3 clinical trial, that because of him we have remdesivir and convalescent plasma and dexamethasone and other therapeutics. He's the right person to give the information to the American people, and boy, does he get the information to a lot of the American people during his briefings, as noted by the ratings, as he himself pointed out. Yes.
The U.S. Trade Representative is planning additional tariffs against Europe in the old dispute about aerospace subsidies. Is the president committed to impose additional sanctions, considering that Europe would answer with additional sanctions, tariffs as well?
So since that's pre-decisional, I won't get ahead on any administration announcements on that front. Yes.
Kayleigh, I have a couple of questions. The first one is, the president in the last few hours tweeted about the concerns about mail-in voting. So he's obviously concerned about the integrity of the U.S. election.
and certainly internal sabotage. But why are we not hearing from the president about the fears about external sabotage? For example, coming out of the UK today, there's a parliamentary committee report that says that Russia influenced the Scottish referendum. There are questions about Brexit. But we've really not heard the president put the Kremlin on notice with respect to the U.S. election. Will we hear from him today on that?
The president's put the world on notice that our election systems must be secure. This is under this president in 2018. He articulated the first full cyber strategy for the United States since 2003. In 2019, he extended the National Emergency Declaration on Foreign Election Interference. He routinely engages with Congress on election security, participating in at least 26 elections security-specific hearings. He signed legislation, $71 million, and so on and so forth. And that's quite a contrast to the Obama-Biden administration, who, when told of meddling in 2016, did nothing. And in fact, Susan Rice told the White House cyber team to stand down and, quote, knock it off when they floated options to combat Russian cyber attacks. And even Obama's cyber chief, Michael Daniel, has confirmed the stand down order.
It's been in office now more than 3 years. I'm asking what's been done now. Given these fresh concerns, what are we going to hear from the president on that?
So what's been done now? I just listed off 3 or 4 things for you, and I'm happy to go through more. We can talk about the $71 million in legislation on election security. We can talk about the $15 million for election reform activities. We can talk about legislation making more than $805 million available to states. And when it comes to mail-in voting, I would point you to the fact that there's a Wall Street Journal article just out today, and it talks about the dark omen for November and the absolute catastrophe in New York City, that we are a month into the election after the voting and we still don't know who the winners are of some of those races. And Governor Cuomo decided that he would prepay postage for the ballots, and what that meant was that the post office didn't put a postage stamp noting the date of the ballot. So as they're collecting these ballots in for a month, as you asked me about this, so I'm going to answer. So for a month, they've been collecting ballots with no postmarked date, and in fact what they found is 19% of ballots have been rejected in Queens, 28% rejected in Brooklyn. There are questions about mass mail-out voting, and I know you don't want to hear them, which is why you talk over me, but I encourage you to read the op-ed. Yes.
On the China vaccine research, this
yes.
is very
You've gotten
important.
2 questions, which is more than
interfered.
some of your colleagues. Yes.
Thank you, Kayleigh.
Okay, you don't want to engage.
In St. Louis, the McCloskeys have been charged with felonies for waving guns at protesters. The Missouri Attorney General is vowing to dismiss these charges. Where does the president stand on this?
Yeah, the president, I asked him about that this morning, and he said it is absolutely absurd what is happening to the McCloskeys. He noted that this is an extreme abuse of power by the prosecutor, and noteworthy that the prosecutor, there have been many cases brought to her attention of violent rioters that she's failed to charge, but instead she's charging the individuals who are defending themselves from violent protesters. You have 300 to 500 protesters who stormed the gates, tore down the gates, and trespassed on their property, and you have Patricia McCloskey, who said that they were telling her they were going to kill them, these protesters. At the moment they were waving their guns to protect themselves. They were going to come in here, she said. They were going to burn down the house. They were going to be living in our house after I was dead. And they were pointing to different rooms of the house saying, that's going to be my bedroom, that's going to be my living room, and I'm going to be taking a shower in that room. So they were completely within their right, and it's an egregious abuse of power on the part of the McCloskeys. Turning to a different note, I just wanted to highlight some great work being done by senior advisor Ivanka Trump. There are nearly 40 million boxes that have been put together by the Farmers to Family Food Box Program, a great partnership to help families in need in this country. And yesterday you had Ivanka Trump visiting the DC Dream Center and personally distributing a number of food boxes. The distribution resulted in 1,000 boxes delivered to the DC community. And we thank Ivanka for the great work that she has done there. And finally, I just wanted to note something on COVID. Dr. Birx is an extraordinary doctor who served this country, dedicated her time to serving our country as an Army colonel. She served as an ambassador to PEPFAR, where she spent her life fighting AIDS and HIV abroad. And it is appalling, the attack that I saw on her in the New York Times based on no facts. And Dr. Birx, for weeks, has been sending out this data to governors, 400 pages of data to our governors so that they have the best information to make the best decisions for their people in their respective states. I've not seen anyone poring over data the way Dr. Birx has, and the attack on her was frankly appalling and egregious, and the New York Times should be very ashamed of themselves.
Kayleigh, what is the president signing at 12:15 today?
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us here at Golden State Times. If you guys liked our coverage, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and you click that bell. Again, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and also click that bell. Last but not least, folks, make sure you guys please share this live stream on social media. Share this video on Facebook and Twitter and Gab and Reddit, all of those social media sites. It helps us out a lot. So please share this video on social media. Don't forget to click the thumbs up button and share, and also follow us on Twitter at Gold State Times and on Parler at Golden State Times. President Trump will have a press conference later on today. If you want to check it out, it's already on the channel. So make sure you guys go and check it out on the channel. Set the reminder, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. Also, it should be coming up on your screen in just a few moments, and I'll pin it to the top of the comment section below. So make sure you go click on that link, click on the screen, or check out in the description. Head over to the video, head over to the live stream, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. All right, folks, so that was for the video upload. If you guys missed the press secretary's press conference, the Q&A with the reporters, we are uploading it onto the channel right now. So thank you so much once again to everyone that is supporting us here at Golden State Times. All the patriots that share the live stream. We hope that you guys join us later on today for President Trump's version of this press briefing. So President Trump is going to be answering questions from reporters later on today. So join us for that. The live stream is already on the main channel. So click our logo, head over to the main channel, give it a thumbs up, share it on social media, and all that good stuff. Now, once I upload the White House press briefing with Kayleigh McEnany, I'll let you guys know on microphone, and I'll put the link to that video in the chat. So make sure you guys tune in. Thanks so much, folks, and we will be back on the microphone once the video is uploaded. All right, folks, so we have uploaded the video onto the channel. I'm going to be putting the link to the video in the chat in case you guys missed it. Even if you didn't miss it, if you can head over to the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. That helps out the channel immensely. So, also, let me know in the chat if you guys got notified for that upload that just happened right now. So I'm putting the link to it in the chat. Make sure you head over to the video, you give it a thumbs up, and you share it on social media. Also, say hello in the comment section, folks. Don't forget to say hello in the comment section of the video that I am putting in the chat. So even if you didn't miss it, even if you saw the whole thing, just head over to the video, say hello in the chat or in the comment section of the video, give it a thumbs up, and share it on social media. That helps out Golden State Times immensely. So just click on the link that I am putting in the chat. That's the video that we just uploaded. So if you got notified by YouTube, let me know in the chat. I guess Jane Wayne, let me know. Did you get notified? Is that what the yes is about? Or is that about something else? Susan, thank you so much. Susan says, yes, notified. Hello. Thank you so much for your help. Letting us know that you got notified. I got notification. Patriot Angle, thank you so much for your help and your support. You're awesome. I just got the new upload. Okay, great. Thank you so much once again, Frank, for letting me know you got notified. You guys are awesome. Hello, Patriot Angle. Got notification, says Brenda Asher. Thank you so much for your help. I got notified, says David Barnes. Thanks so much. Notification received, says Frank. Yes, not yet, says Troy. All right. Thank you so much, folks, for letting me know you guys got notified. Once again, click on the link that I am putting in the chat. If you didn't get notified, head over to the video, give it a thumbs up, share it on social media, and say hello in the chat. Say hello in the chat. And I'll make sure that I'll go and give, little hearts and stuff in the chat to all you patriots. That helps us out so much. Don't forget that later on today, President Trump is having a press conference on coronavirus, but he's also going to be talking about different things, not just corona. He's going to be talking about his recent call with France, his recent call with Egypt. He called the president of Egypt yesterday, and other stuff that has been coming up over the last few days, including that couple that were protecting their home and now are charged with a felony. Felony charges on that couple. That is crazy. Even though those people broke through a fence or a gate, they broke through a gate, they invaded their private property, and now they're being charged. They are being charged with a felony, which is crazy. Oh, thank you so much to Equal It. Thank you so much for your help and your support through Super Chat. Those Super Chats helps us immensely here on YouTube to continue live streaming, as we have to take off advertisements from our live streams in order for us to not get censored, which is pretty crazy, but that's what's happening. All right, folks, we hope to see you guys at the White House press conference with President Trump later on today. The live stream is all ready to go, already on the channel, ready to go. So make sure you guys head over there, give it a thumbs up, and set the reminder.